UFC 263, Adesanya versus Vettori 2. In the main event, we got Israel Adesanya and Marvin Vettori for the middleweight belt. Davison Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno in the co-main event for the UFC flyweight belt. Leon Edwards about to dominate Nate Diaz for 5 straight rounds, unless he gets a TKO or knockout win before that, but that's an easy prediction. I'll give you it right now. Leon Edwards is going to win that fight 100%. We got Damian Maia and Bilal Muhammad, Jamal Hill and Paul Craig right there, Drew Dober and Brad Riddell, Eric Honors and Darren Stewart, Joanne Calderwood and Lauren Murphy, Hakeem Dawodu and Mozart Evloev, Alexis Davis and Panny Kianza, Steven Peterson and Chase Hooper and Fares Yam and Luigi Vendramini, Jake Collier and Carlos Felipe. Amazing fight card. We got Hakeem Dawodu, Mozart Evloev, Lauren Murphy, Joanne Calderwood, Eric Honors, Darren Stewart. All these guys are on the prelims. And talk about the main card, which is absolutely stacked from top to bottom, with a fight of the night contender right there in the co-main event. You got Nate Diaz, you got Leon Edwards. You got so many amazing fights on the main card right there. I am 1000% putting some money down on this. I want to buy this pay-per-view. It's looking like an amazing fight card, but yeah, let's get into the prediction for the first fight on the fight card right here. This fight in the heavyweight division, Carlos Felipe and Jake Collier in the heavyweight division. Carlos Felipe, 10 wins and 1 loss, minus 210, a moderate favorite, 26 years old, 6 foot tall, and a 75-inch reach. Jake Collier, a lot taller and a lot lengthier, at 6 foot 3 inches tall, and a 78.5-inch reach, giving him a 3-inch reach advantage, and a 3-inch height advantage right there, 3.5 right there for the reach. But he is the underdog in the fight, and the reason he is the underdog, this is Carlos Felipe's boxing is very good. Even though he's going to have the height and the reach disadvantage, his speed and his power is much better than Jake Collier, and if he can just keep on moving forward and have really good cardio right here, throw a lot of volume, and just pressure Jake Collier a lot in this fight, using a lot of boxing combinations, I think he could win the fight by decision. Both guys right here don't really have the most power for the heavyweight division. I mean, yeah, Carlos Felipe, most of his wins are knockouts, but inside of the UFC, every single fight has gone all the way, and I do think this fight will go all the way if Carlos Felipe does win the fight. Jake Collier, I honestly think he needs to wrestle and grapple here, and ground and pound for 3 straight rounds for the decision win, to be honest. I think on the feet, his speed and his power is going to be way too much. His boxing is a lot better, and I really don't think he's going to be able to keep the fight at range and use that height and that reach, so he's going to kind of have to get the fight to the ground, and wrestle and grapple and ground and pound to win the fight right here. So Jake Collier, get the fight to the ground, and just start ground and pounding for the win. Probably going to be by unanimous decision, but out of his wins, 5 KO TKO wins, 3 submission wins, and 4 decision wins, with most of those knockout wins due to ground and pound. So I really do think that's going to be his main path to victory, but it's going to be tough. Carlos Felipe's takedown defense, I believe it was like 65 or 70%. Pretty solid for the division so far. So I think whatever takedowns do come his way, he will defend those takedowns. So I think this fight will be a boxing, maybe a little bit of kickboxing from Jake Collier, but mostly a boxing fight from Carlos Felipe. And I think he's going to throw a lot of volume. He has the better cardio, the better speed, and the better power. So I think the fight's going to go all the way. And I think the better striker in Carlos Felipe will win the fight right here in the heavyweight division. So my prediction, Carlos Felipe by 30-27 unanimous decision win right there. Should be a really good fight in the heavyweight division. And then we look at the betting odds right there, which just shrunk a lot in the last couple of days. At the start of the betting odds, it was absolutely insane. Started at minus 200, went way down to minus 300, which is absolutely nuts, but now it's at minus 175, which is a lot more reasonable than minus 300. That is just crazy, but now they have it at minus 163. It's really not too bad. And if you do a Carlos Felipe winning by decision bet, that would be plus 155, which I think has the most value on the fight card so far. So that'd be the only real bet I'd make, would be Carlos Felipe by decision at plus 150. Should be a really good fight in the heavyweight division right there. Fares Yam and Luigi Vendramini in the lightweight division. Luigi Vendramini, get the fight to the mat ASAP, or get the fight to the clinch and just start throwing combinations and then go for the double leg takedown and grapple and ground and pound. Fariziam, you look at the height and you look at that reach, it's pretty clear what he's going to want to do. Keep the fight at range, jab, 1-2, 1-2, leg kicks, body kicks, everything like that. He just wants to fight on the outside of Luigi Venturamini. Stay away from the double leg takedowns from Luigi. Stay away from the clinch, because if the fight does hit the clinch, and if Luigi can close that distance, I'm sorry, Fariziam, Luigi will win the fight. So keep the fight at range. Just keep on poking out that jab, use that reach, use that height, and just 1-2, 1-2 at range. And just use your advantages in this fight right here. So I don't know if he'll be able to defend the takedowns. I think if he does, of course, he will win the fight by decision, in my opinion. But Luigi Venturamini does have some really good ground and pound and really good submission skills. Out of his record so far, every single win being a finish, 5 KO TKO wins and 4 submission wins, with pretty much all of those knockout wins being a ground and pound TKO. Fariziam, 11 wins and 3 losses, 24 years old. Out of his wins, 5 submission wins, 4 knockout wins, and then 2 decision wins, losing twice by submission right there. I think that's a very good possibility of happening in this fight if Luigi Venturamini gets the fight down inside control and eventually gets his back. I think he could latch in a rear naked or an arm triangle, possibly an armbar. I really don't think so, but I think the main way he will win the fight by finish would be a rear naked. Fariziam probably needs to get a knockout on the feet or just defend the takedowns and ride out a decision win defending the takedowns, and keep the fight on the feet at range. But I just can't help but think Luigi Venturamini will close that distance. I don't care about the height. I don't care about the reach. Eventually, he'll time a takedown. He'll time the clinch. And eventually, he will get the fight to the ground on top of Fariziam, ground and pounding a little bit and looking for that choke. So, I think eventually, the underdog right here in Luigi Venturamini will get the fight down. And my prediction for Fariziam and Luigi Venturamini is the underdog in Luigi Venturamini winning the fight by 29-28 on the unanimous decision win right there. The betting odds for the fight really pick up -105 and then -120. The odds might have switched a little bit in the last couple of days. While Fariziam -132 and then Luigi Venturamini +118. I have the underdog right now. That is my prediction. I got Luigi Venturamini winning the fight by decision. I think there's a good chance that Luigi gets a submission here. Maybe one of them gets a knockout, but I do think the fight will go all the way. So, you could go for like the even money odds at +118, or you could go Venturamini by decision at +350. I think either way you go, I think those are both really good bets. Because they're both underdog odds, and I do feel confident that he will win the fight by decision. And 3.5 to 1 odds of him winning the fight by decision is really amazing odds right there. So that'd be the only real bet I would make, would be Venturamini by decision at +350, or just a straight bet on Luigi at +118 right there. But overall, should be a really good fight in the lightweight division. By Luigi, I think he'll get the fight down, a grapple and ground and pound for 3 straight rounds and win the fight by decision right there. Should be a really good fight in the lightweight division right there. Steven Peterson and Chase Hooper in the featherweight division. Steven Peterson, 18-9 in his professional MMA career inside of the UFC, has not really done too good, with 2 wins and 3 losses right there over Martin Bravo. I don't really think he's inside the UFC, and Matt Bassetti, I don't think he's in the UFC as well. So both guys are not even inside the UFC anymore, and those are the only guys he has beaten. But he's facing some pretty good competition as well. But out of his wins, 7 submission wins, 6 knockout wins, and 5 decision wins right there. Chase Hooper, what do you want me to say? Of course, the man wants the fight to hit the mat, get a heel hook, get a rear naked, get some sort of submission. That's what Chase Hooper does. Get the fight down and look for the choke, look for the ankle, look for the arm, look for the submission. 5 submission wins, 3 knockout wins. I believe they're probably from ground and pound, because his striking is abysmal, man. Referee stoppage, ground and pound, and then those are the only knockout wins, and then punches. So every single one of them on the ground due to ground and pound. So if Chase Hooper were to win the fight, it would be by ground and pound TKO or by submission. If that does not happen, I'm sorry to say, Chase Hooper, I think Steven Peterson is probably going to beat you in the striking game. If a guy like Peter Barrett, who honestly doesn't really have the best striking, is dominating you in the striking game, almost to the end of the fight to latch onto a heel hook somehow, if that guy's beating you, I think Steven Peterson could probably do the same thing. But he also has a pretty good wrestling and grappling background as well, so I think he could limit the amount of times that the fight does hit the mat. And I think overall, he'll defend most of the takedowns. The fight will have the mat a couple of times here and there, but overall, the fight will stay on the feet for the most part. And Steven Peterson is not really a good striker, but in this case, it's going to be a better striker than Chase Hooper, whose striking is absolutely horrible. So my prediction right here is going to go to Steven Peterson to defend whatever takedowns come his way, keep the fight on the feet, and throw a lot of volume and pressure at Chase Hooper when his back is to the cage, because we saw in his last fight, when his back is to the cage, he doesn't really do too good. So I think Steven Peterson is going to pressure the heck out of Chase Hooper right here. So my prediction is Steven Peterson winning the fight. My unanimous decision win right there. The betting odds right here, pretty 50-50, minus 110, and then plus 103 right here. So a 50-50 pick-up fight. It's pretty much a pick-up fight right here. The prop bets, let's see. Peterson by decision, not bad. Plus 240, and then plus 500 for Hooper. I don't know. I do think the fight will go all the way. The betting odds of the fight goes to decision plus 130. That's very interesting. They do think the fight is going to be a finish. I don't think the fight will be a finish. I think the fight is going to go all the way. I got Steven Peterson winning the fight by decision. The only real bet I would make, I wouldn't do a straight bet right here on a 50-50 fight. I'd probably go Peterson by decision or Hooper by decision right there. But it should be an interesting fight in the featherweight division. I think Steven Peterson will defend the takedowns, keep the fight on the feet. There are a lot of volume and a lot of pressure on Chase Hooper, who's striking sucks. So that's gonna be my prediction. Steven Peterson, my unanimous decision win right there. Should be a decent fight in the featherweight division right there. Pannie Kianzad and Alexis Davis in the bantamweight division. Alexis Davis, 20 wins and 10 losses, 36 and a half years old right there. That is definitely going to play a factor, but even if she's that old, she has so much experience against some amazing fighters in the UFC bantamweight division, like Caitlin Chookagian, Jennifer Maia, Liz Carmouche, Sarah McMahon, Ronda Rousey, Liz Carmouche again, all these girls. Amanda Nunes, as she beat Amanda Nunes by second round knockout. That's telling you a lot. This girl right here beat Amanda Nunes, but she's definitely not the same as she was way back in the day when she beat Amanda Nunes. Now, she's usually going out there trying to get the fight down and grind out a decision win. You get a lot of ground and pound, and look for the submission, look for the ground and pound TKO, or just win a grinding decision win on the wrestling game. That's the main way she's going to win the fight, of course. She's going to have the reach advantage right here. I think she's going to use that reach, make Pannie come to her a little bit, and then time a double leg takedown, get the fight down, and implement her game plan, which would be ground and pound, takedown, and just hold there for 3 straight rounds for the decision winner right there. But Pannie Kianzad right here, 14 wins and 5 losses. Of course, she wants the fight to stay on the feet 100%. 14 wins and 5 losses. Out of all of her wins, 3 knockout wins and 13 decision wins, with zero submission wins right there. So, of course, she wants the fight to stay on the feet. If the fight does hit the mat, I think Alexis Davis will win the fight 100%. There will be instances where there will be a takedown from Alexis, but I think Pannie Kianzad's takedown defense is around 75-80% so far inside the UFC. So I think most of the takedowns that do come her way, she will defend. I do not like the odds here, minus 220 and plus 175. Is abysmal. I think this fight is a really close fight, to be honest. I would have Pannie at around minus 130. Barely a pick'em fight, barely a favorite on the pick'em odds. Just minus 130, minus 135. Alexis Davis plus 110. They have her at plus 175 right now. I think that's absolutely insane, because only 1 or 2 takedowns, like we saw in this Sabina Mazo fight, could win her the fight, to be honest. She can just control the fight with ground and pound and with takedowns, so win the fight. So I would not put Pannie Kianzad in a parlay, would not bet Pannie Kianzad at double, at minus 200, minus 220 odds. That is absolutely insane. There's no way I'm doing that. But I do like the underdog odds on Alexis Davis right there. This is not the best odds to get her at plus 170. There were some odds at the beginning of the betting odds streak where it was at plus 200, but now you gotta deal with it. Plus 170. I'd probably do a prop bet on Alexis Davis, maybe by TKO, plus 2,500. I might put like $2 on that, because I think she's gonna go out there just ground and pound. Could win the fight by TKO. Just keep on ground and pounding. Do what Montana De La Rosa did in her last fight with Ariane Lipski, and just start landing elbows on top in full mount. That could be a path to victory. I don't think it's very likely. I give the chance she gets a TKO 10%. I think that's a pretty good chance considering the odds right there. But the main way I see her winning the fight would definitely be by decision, and those odds are Plus 285, that is honestly not bad. That would probably be the bet I would make right here. It would probably be Alexis Davis by decision. I'd probably put a couple of dollars out on that, and then put like $2 down on plus 2,500 for Davis by KO TKO. I think that's an amazing pick right there. Plus 2,500, because you never know. It is the women's bantamweight division. You never know what's going to happen. But if she gets on top and starts landing a lot of ground and pound, she could definitely get that ground and pound TKO. But my overall prediction is going to be Pannie Kianzad to win the fight by decision. I think she will do enough to defend the takedowns and outstrike Alexis Davis on the feet. But I would definitely not bet on Pannie Kianzad. That's 100%. The odds are absolutely horrible. But for right here, the only bet I would make would be Alexis Davis by TKO, which is plus 2,500, or just by decision, which is around a plus 300 right there. Should be a pretty good fight in the bantamweight division. But my prediction, Pannie Kianzad barely winning the fight in a very close split decision, 29-28 unanimous decision win right there. Split decision win right there. Sorry about that, but should be a decent fight in the bantamweight division right there. Hakeem Dawodu and Movsar Evloev in the featherweight division. Hakeem Dawodu, 12 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. 29, almost 30 years old right there. A little bit taller, not as lengthy as Movsar Evloev, but I really doubt the height and reach is going to play that big of a factor, considering the edge is only 1 inch and half an inch right there. So, but Movsar Evloev, 27 years old, an undefeated fighter in the featherweight division with 14 wins and absolutely no losses. The 19th and 20th best featherweights in the world. You guys already know exactly what this man is trying to do. Wrestle, grapple, ground and pound. 3 straight rounds, another decision win. All of his wins inside of the UFC have been decision wins. Sung Woo Choi decision, Enrique Barzola decision, Mike Grundy decision, Nick Lentz decision. Every single one of them is a decision. Hakeem Dawodu, out of his 12 wins, 1 loss and 1 draw inside of the UFC, pretty much every single win has been a decision except for 1 right there. 4 decision wins. I think the fight is 100% going all the way. If you're going to be betting on the fight, either one of them, whoever you're going to bet, Movsar Evloev or Hakeem Dawodu, bet them winning by decision. There's no other way to make a little bit extra money than just saying Evloev by decision or Dawodu by decision, which is honestly some pretty good odds right there. Evloev by decision, even money odds. That's amazing value right there. And then Dawodu by decision plus 375, which is also really good value right there. So either way, whoever you have winning, put them winning the fight by decision. But overall, Hakeem Dawodu needs to keep the fight on the feet. Has much better striking than Movsar Evloev. Movsar, his striking is mainly just jab, leg kick, leg kick, over and over again, defending setting up the clinch, setting up the takedowns and everything like that, to implement his game plan, which would be on the ground in the wrestling and grappling. But keep the fight on the feet at range. Do not go in the clinch. Do not even get close to Movsar Evloev. Do not let him enter the distance, because if that does happen, I'm going Movsar Evloev to win the fight, but Hakeem Dawodu, keep the fight at range and try to strike your way to a decision winner right here. Movsar, go out there, be relentless with the amount of takedowns you attempt. Just keep on going for takedowns over and over again, and just try to dominate the fight on the ground for a decision winner right there. I don't necessarily agree with the odds. I think if Hakeem Dawodu has amazing takedown defense, that he will win the fight. If Movsar has really good takedown defense, he will win the fight. It's just where will the fight be? If it's on the ground, of course Movsar will win. If it's on the feet, Hakeem will win. But will the fight go to the ground? That is the question we're trying to answer right now. I think most likely the fight will go to the ground. I think most likely Movsar Evloev will win the fight. I don't like the odds as a 2.5 to 1 favorite. I think Movsar should be around minus 155, minus 160, somewhere around that range. Maybe even a minus 165, but minus 250, that is just it's kind of bad, man. That's just too big of a favorite. It's kind of shivering down a little bit at minus 225 right now, but unless it's under minus 200, I probably wouldn't do a bet on Movsar. But I do like the decision odds for Movsar right there at, let's see if I can find it. Evloev by decision, even money odds. I do really like those odds right there. And then Dawodu by decision is also really good odds. I think the fight is 100% going all the way. I do think that Evloev will win the fight by decision, even money odds right there. But it should be a really good fight in the featherweight division. But I do think that Movsar will wrestle and grapple and ground upon his way for 3 straight rounds and win the fight by unanimous decision winner right there. Should be a really good fight in the featherweight division right there. Lauren Murphy and Joanne Calderwood in the women's flyweight division. Lauren Murphy, the 5th best flyweight fighter in the world, with 14 wins and 4 losses, 37 and almost 38 years old, a little bit less small, but an incredible 68-inch reach advantage right there. Joanne Calderwood, 15 wins and 5 losses, 35 and a half years old, a little bit taller, but way less of a reach than Lauren Murphy right there. For this fight, Lauren Murphy, I think, needs to get the fight super close on the feet. We know all these women's flyweight fights are always very competitive in the striking game. That's why we see a lot of split decisions in the women's flyweight division, because it's so close in the striking game. And the only thing that can kind of edge out the striking would be a takedown and a little bit of ground pound, which I think that is the main way that Lauren Murphy will win the fight. Would be to land a couple of takedowns here and there, get a little bit of ground pound, get a little bit of control time, and maybe try and do what she did last time with Lilia Shakirova, and maybe get a submission win or just keep the fight on the ground. That's the main way I see Lauren Murphy winning the fight, keeping it super even on the feet and ending the rounds with a takedown and a little bit of ground pound. By we all know Joanne Calderwood throws a lot of volume and has a lot of pressure. Lauren Murphy averages 3.46 strikes per minute. Joanne Calderwood averages 6.25 strikes per minute. That is almost double the amount of strikes per minute from Joanne Calderwood to Lauren Murphy. Whoa, man. I mean, that does that not tell you anything? She's going to throw a lot of volume right here. And I think in the striking game, of course, Joanne Calderwood will have the advantage, but if Lauren can end the round and get a couple of minutes of control time in the fight, get a couple of takedowns, get a little bit of ground and pound, I think she could definitely win the fight. So this is a close one, a 50-50 fight. Just depends on if Lauren Murphy can end the round with a takedown, or if maybe she goes out there and wins the fight in the striking game, which I don't think will happen. I think Joanne Calderwood, her volume and her pressure will be enough to win the fight on the feet. But it's an interesting fight, because if Lauren Murphy can get the fight down a couple of times, she could win. But if Joanne keeps the fight on the feet for the whole entire fight, she will win the fight. So it's a pretty interesting fight in the women's flyweight division right here. My prediction is gonna go Joanne Calderwood with the volume. I mean, getting double the amount of significant strikes per minute inside of the UFC than Lauren Murphy right there. If she just defends whatever takedowns come her way, she should definitely win the fight. That's exactly what I think is gonna happen. A lot of volume and a lot of pressure en route to a decision win right there. This is another one of them. We're on the betting odds. You don't want to look at this minus 125. Don't want to look at the plus 105. Whatever the betting odds are right now. You want to go out there and just put one of them by decision. It's pretty much that simple. Go way down here. Lauren Murphy by decision is plus 200. Really good odds right there. And then Calderwood by decision plus 125. So either way, put either one of them winning the fight by decision. Really good odds right there. My prediction is going to be Calderwood winning the fight by decision plus 125. Really good odds right there. But I think the volume would be enough right here. I think the double the amount of strikes per minute than Lauren Murphy is going to be enough. And if she defends the takedowns, which I think she will, she should definitely win the fight right there. But my prediction, Joanne Calderwood win in the fight by unanimous decision win right there. Should be a really good fight in the women's flyweight division right there. Eric Anders and Darren Stewart 2. This is the rematch. The last time they fought, I believe, was back in March, like 1 or 2 months ago, something along those lines. But Eric Anders looked amazing in that fight, dominated him in the clinch and on the ground with his takedowns and with his ground and pound and with his punches in the clinch as well. It was a dominant performance all the way up. It sucks, man, because he went out there before the fight happened and made fun of Petr Yan for getting disqualified and losing his bantamweight strap to an illegal knee to a down opponent. And Eric Anders, oh my god, went out there and threw an illegal knee on Darren Stewart after he was doing so good. He was winning the fight, en route to winning the fight by ground and pound TKO or a dominant decision, and he just threw an illegal knee. Oh, god dang. Come on, Eric Anders. You're gonna win that fight, man. Just don't throw the illegal. And you're making fun of Petr Yan and you do the exact same thing. That's pretty funny in my opinion, but that game plan that he did show in the last fight was a really good game plan in my opinion. Get the fight to the clinch where you are the stronger fighter, land a lot of strikes, go for the double leg takedown or the trip takedown, and just ground and pound. That's how he was winning the fight. It was a dominating performance in the first and second round before, of course, he threw the freaking illegal knee, man. But I think he should be able to do the exact same thing right here. A little bit longer of a fighter, a little bit taller of a fighter as well. So Darren Stewart, I think, needs to get the fight at range, stay away from the clinch, and stay away from the wrestling and grappling. Otherwise, you're going to lose the fight. If you wrestle and if you clinch with Eric Anders, you are going to lose the fight. So get the fight at range and kickbox with Eric Anders, and you should win the fight. But it's easier said than done. Eric Anders eventually will get the fight to the clinch, eventually will get the takedown, eventually will get you down and ground and pound and ground and pound and ground and pound. You see, this picture right here sums it up for me. That's exactly what I think is going to happen. He's going to get him down and ground and pound the heck out of him. This is a ground and pound knockout win. This right here, ground and pound knockout win, 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 ground and pound. All these are ground and pound knockout wins. So I think that's exactly what's going to happen right here. Eric Anders is going to go out there and finish the fight in the first or second round by KO or TKO. Probably going to be a TKO from ground and pound, but should be a really, really good fight right here in the light heavyweight division, which is very interesting. That they're moving up from middleweight to light heavyweight. The last time they fought was in middleweight, so I don't know what's happening right there, but I think Eric Anders gets the fight down a lot in this fight, lays a lot of ground and pound, and eventually splits open Darren Stewart, and eventually the ref will stop the fight. So my prediction, Eric Anders by ground and pound TKO right there. The betting odds for the fight, if I can find them, I'm pretty blind right now. Okay, I see them. So right now, Eric Anders by KO TKO, if they have those odds yet. God damn, they don't have the odds. So they only have Anders by inside the distance, which I think maybe is. I don't really like those odds. We gotta wait till they have odds for him winning by KO TKO. I think that's exactly what's gonna happen. But they don't have any like every single other one of these fights has a prop bet for them winning by knockout, for them winning by decision, except for this one. But when the prop bets do come out, comment on the video and put what the betting odds are for Eric Anders by KO TKO. If they're not around plus 230, plus 240, I stay away from that. If they're anything lower than that, stay away from this. So 240 or 250, anything around that range would be a really, really good bet on Eric Anders by KO or TKO right there. Wouldn't put a lot of money on that because he could win the fight in a dominant wrestling decision. But my prediction is Eric Anders going out there, ground and pounding the heck out of Darren Stewart and finishing the fight in the second or third round. By ground and pound TKO right there. It should be a really, really good fight in the light heavyweight division right there. Drew Dober and Brad Riddell in the lightweight division. Drew Dober, the 13th best lightweight fighter in the world. 23 wins and 10 losses. A little bit of a favorite right there. 32.5 years old, a little bit taller, but not as lengthy as Brad Riddell right there. This fight is where will the fight take place? If it's in the clinch, I got Drew Dober winning the fight. If it's at range, in a kickboxing type of fight, Brad Riddell, of course, will win the fight with the leg kicks, with the body kicks at range. He should win the fight by decision, maybe by knockout, but Drew Dober, in my opinion, needs to get the fight inside distance and throw a lot of combinations. He has a better chin and he's a little bit more powerful than Brad Riddell, so close that distance. Maybe clinch up here and there in the fight, but try to close the distance and throw a lot of combinations because you have the better chin and you are more powerful than Brad Riddell. And at range, Brad Riddell can land those leg kicks, can land those body kicks, which you don't want to get. You don't want to have Brad Riddell landing on you for 3 straight rounds. So close the distance, get the fight to the clinch, or just start throwing combinations when Brad Riddell's back is to the cage. That's the main way I see Drew Dober winning the fight. Brad Riddell, 9 wins and 1 loss. How many knockouts? 5 KO TKO wins and 4 decision wins. Drew Dober, 23 and 10 as a professional MMA fighter. 7 knockout wins, 9 submission wins, and 7 decision wins. I do think this fight will stay on the feet, either in the clinch for Drew Dober winning the fight, or at range for Brad Riddell winning the fight right there. It's an interesting one. It's a 50-50 fight on the betting odds. I am leaning towards Drew Dober. Got the better chin, a little bit more powerful, so that's the main reason I'm going for him to win the fight, because if he closes that distance, which I think he will, keep the fight in the clinch, I think he's going to land a lot of big shots on Brad Riddell, hurt him a little bit, but not necessarily finish the fight by knockout. He's going to hurt him, but I don't think he's going to finish the fight. So right here with Drew Dober and Brad Riddell, I think Drew Dober will go out there, strike in the pocket, inside of range, and in the clinch every now and then as well, on route to a decision win. I think it's going to be close. I think the striking numbers are going to be really, really close, because Brad Riddell is going to try his hardest to keep the fight at range, where he does have the advantage. So this is one of those that could go either way, to be honest. I'd probably stay away from betting on the fight, to be honest. Minus 135, plus 105. I just stay away from betting on it, because it could go either way. If Brad Riddell keeps the fight at range, he will win. If Drew Dober gets the fight like this, really close in the clinch, inside distance, he will win the fight. So my prediction overall will be Drew Dober winning the fight by decision, but I would not bet on the fight right there, but should be a really good fight in the lightweight division right there. Paul Craig and Jamal Hill right here. Jamal Hill, an amazing grappler, super good submission. No, I'm kidding, bro. Jamal Hill wants his fight to stay on the feet 100%. Lots of power. I believe 4 knockout wins and 4 decision wins. Getting a second round knockout win over OV St. Preux. A second round TKO win and a first round knockout win right there. Probably his main way of winning the fight would be by knockout. Paul Craig, his main way of winning the fight, ground pound TKO or by triangle or by guillotine or by rear naked, because that's the only way he's winning his fights. You look right here on his record so far: tap the strikes from ground and pound, triangle choke, rear naked, triangle choke, armbar, triangle, guillotine, armbar again, Darce choke, knockout by ground and pound, triangle, and triangle. The man's triangles, the man's guillotines, the man's armbars, all the submissions from the bottom are amazing from this guy, but is he going to be on the bottom to actually land those submissions on a guy like Jamal Hill? There's no way Jamal Hill is going to want the fight to hit the mat, so that's not really a viable option for him to go out there and get a triangle or a guillotine. The fight mainly will stay on the feet. I don't really like the wrestling. Paul Craig has some decent trip takedowns, an okay single leg, but that's pretty much about it. I don't like much of his wrestling. I think the fight will stay on the feet. He's the younger fighter, the lengthier fighter, the taller fighter as well. Keeps the fight at range, and he's got a lot of power in his hands. So for this fight with Paul Craig and Jamal Hill, I don't necessarily think he should be a 3-1 favorite. I think he should be minus 230, minus 240. Either way, I do think Jamal Hill should be the favorite, of course. Better striking, some decent takedown defense so far inside the UFC. And Paul Craig, his only submission skills are from the bottom, and there's no way Jamal Hill is going to get on top of Paul Craig right here. So my prediction is going to go towards Jamal Hill, going out there, keeping the fight at range, using that reach, and using that height, and using that power. And just a 1-2 for a little bit, and then I'm out of nowhere come in with a big right hand, and I think it's gonna put Paul Craig out cold in the first or second round right there. For the betting odds, this is one of those where if you're betting on Jamal Hill, you have to do a prop bet for him winning by knockout. Because do you guys really think Jamal Hill is going to win the fight by decision? Do you really think Paul Craig is going to win the fight by decision? I really doubt it. Every single win from Paul Craig is a finish. I really doubt he's going to win the fight by decision. I really doubt Jamal Hill is going to win the fight by decision. So either way, if you're betting on Jamal Hill, go right down here. Hill wins by TKO or knockout, minus 165. That's the only bet I would probably recommend for this fight right here. But it should be a really good fight in the light heavyweight division. Again, Jamal Hill by KO TKO in the first or second round right there. Should be a really good fight in the light heavyweight division right there. Damian Maia and Belal Muhammad in the welterweight division. First things first, I do not agree with these betting odds. Minus 235 for Belal Muhammad and then plus 190 for Damian Maia right there. Damian Maia beat Ben Askren, beat Anthony Rockamart, and beat Lyman Good in the grappling department. Dominated all three of them on the ground, and there's a good chance he could do that here again. I think the odds should be pick 'em. I literally think this should be a 50-50 fight in my opinion. Damian Maia, he's grappling, he's wrestling, one of the best of all time. 28 wins and 10 losses right there. 14 submission wins, 3 knockout wins, and 11 decision wins. Beating guys like Chael Sonnen, Nate Corey, Jason McDonald, let's see, John Fish right there, Neil Magny, Gunnar Nelson, Matt Brown, Carlos Condit, Jorge Masvidal right there, fighting Tyron Woodley, Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman, and then beating all these guys right there. He's fought so many amazing fighters and has submitted so many guys. His wrestling, his grappling is so good, and he's relentless, man. It doesn't matter. Belal Muhammad can defend 10 takedowns. Doesn't matter. Damian Maia will keep on coming at you for 3 straight rounds and keep on going for the takedowns. He's going to have the reach and he's going to have the height. So Belal Muhammad has to come in to land his strike. So Damian Maia is going to time those, land some takedowns, get the fight down, and wrestle and grapple a bit right here. I think the fight is a 50-50 pick-em fight. I would definitely put some money on Damian Maia as a 2-1 underdog, which is absolutely insane. Should be a pick-up fight in my opinion, with the wrestling and grappling pedigree of Damian Maia right there. Belal Muhammad, 18 wins and 3 losses. Really good striking in my opinion. Decent takedown defense, decent wrestling. 1 submission win, 4 knockout wins, and 13 decision wins. So Is he going to get the finish? Not really. And that's the one thing that Damian Maia has been kind of looking at. A lot of the guys he's fighting has some pretty good power in his hands, and he's not moving forward as much, looking for the takedowns, because he's going to get countered with a big right hand and get knocked out, like he did against Gilbert Burns. That's not going to happen here because he has Belal Muhammad, who has 4 knockout wins out of 18 wins. He's not going to get the knockout, so Damian Maia will keep on moving forward, not really respecting the power of Belal Muhammad because, to be quite frank, he doesn't really have much power, so Damian Maia is going to keep on moving forward, takedown, over and over and over again. I think it's a 50-50 fight. If Belal keeps the fight on the feet, he will win the fight. If Damian Maia gets the fight down, of course, he will win the fight. It's pretty obvious what's going to happen on the grappling and wrestling game. Man, it's a tough one. It's a tough prediction because the betting odds are saying he's a 2.5 to 1 favorite. I don't agree. I think it's a 50-50 fight, and I am going to go Damian Maia. I'm going to go for the 2 to 1 underdog right here in Damian Maia to win the fight. His wrestling, his grappling, and the sorry about that. I'm blanking right now, but I think he's just going to keep on coming forward. No matter what happens in the striking game, Damian Maia will keep on moving forward, looking for that takedown. Eventually, he will get the fight down. In my opinion, dominating the fight on the ground. So my prediction is Damian Maia winning the fight by decision, possibly by submission, of course. There's amazing submission skills, but I think the fight will go all the way, and Damian Maia will win the fight by decision. Now, let's take the betting odds, because this is going to be an amazing value pick, in my opinion. Damian Maia, what is Damian Maia by decision? Let's see. Maia by decision plus 500. What is Maia by submission? They don't even have that yet, so we don't have any Maia by submission odds just yet. But if you're going to be betting on the fight, just do a straight bet on Damian Maia at double money odds at plus 217 right there. Amazing odds. Or you do Damian Maia by decision plus 500. Absolutely insane. Either way, I got the 2 to 1 underdog in Damian Maia winning the fight right there. Who do you guys have winning the fight? It's a close one, to be honest. But I'm going to go with the veteran, and he's an absolute great, one of the greatest grapplers of all time. I got Damian Maia winning that fight by decision right there. Can't wait to see that fight in the welterweight division, but should be a really good fight right there. Leon Edwards and Nate Diaz in the welterweight division. I'm going to say it right now, I don't know why you're watching this, to be honest. It's a pretty self-explanatory prediction to make with Leon Edwards and Nate Diaz. Of course, Leon Edwards is gonna win the fight. The odds, I mean, absolutely insane. Minus 500. Personally, I'll say it right now. I got Leon Edwards going out there, landing a big fat elbow right here on the eye of Nate Diaz, cutting him right open, exactly where Jorge Masvidal cut Nate Diaz for the BMF belt, and I think it's going to be a doctor stoppage. I don't think he has the power to get a knockout on the feet, so I think if he's going to get the knockout, it would be on the ground with Nate Diaz all bloody on the face, and lose the fight by doctor stoppage, something like that. That is my prediction. Do I have to go much more into it? Leon Edwards is kickboxing much better, has a little bit more power than Nate Diaz, faster than Nate Diaz, his grappling and wrestling. I mean, Nate Diaz is good from the guard, good triangles, good guillotines, good arm bars, all that type of stuff, but even in the guard, I really don't care. Leon Edwards is going to start landing some vicious ground and pound on Nate Diaz. I really don't really care where the fight ends up. If it's on the ground, if it's in the clinch, if it's at range, I don't care. Leon Edwards, in my opinion, will win the fight. I really do think the fight will be a domination. I think the way he gets it done will be a takedown on Nate Diaz, get in the guard, eventually get the half guard, eventually get into side control, and just start raining down strikes, and eventually I think he's gonna cut Nate Diaz right open. So my prediction right here for Leon Edwards and Nate Diaz: Leon Edwards beating him in the striking game, getting a takedown, and just absolutely murdering him with ground and pound strikes, and eventually getting the doctor stoppage, or eventually just getting the TKO win. But yeah, that's my prediction right there. I don't know why you're watching the prediction, since it's pretty obvious, guys. Leon Edwards is gonna win the fight. It's a pretty obvious prediction by overall, it should be a really good fight in the welterweight division by Leon Edwards by doctor stoppage or by TKO. One of those two things. I just think a finish from strikes in the 3rd or 4th round right there. Nate Diaz will survive for a while. Eventually, he will lose the fight, in my opinion. So Leon Edwards by KO, TKO, or doctor stoppage, or whatever the case may be, in the 3rd or 4th round right there. Should be a really good fight in the welterweight division right there. Davison Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno 2. The last time these guys fought, Amazing fight of the night, absolutely amazing fight. I really do think this is the main event for UFC 263. I'm not really too excited to watch Israel Adesanya and Marvin Vettori. I am super excited to watch Brandon Moreno and Deiveson Figueiredo. I 100% expect this fight to be a fight of the night for sure. I think Deiveson Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno put on a show the last time around. They're going to put on a show this time around as well. Brandon Moreno, 18 wins, 5 losses, and 2 draws. A little bit lengthier and a little bit taller than Deiveson Figueiredo, with a 2-inch advantage in the height and reach department. Out of his 18 wins right there, 10 submission wins, 3 knockout wins, and 5 decision wins right there. Out of his losses, 1 submission loss and 5 decision losses right there. Deiveson Figueiredo, only 1 loss to Jussier Formiga way back in 2019. Ever since then, has been doing absolutely amazing with knockout wins on Joseph Benavidez almost twice. I mean, he knocked Joseph down 5 or 6 times. It was absolutely insane. But the man has power. The man has jiu-jitsu. The man has wrestling as well. 8 submission wins, 9 knockout wins, and 3 decision wins. In the striking game, I do think that Brandon Moreno has a lot of flaws when he moves forward, because he does have the reach advantage. I think Deiveson Figueiredo will play a counter-punching game, and when Brandon Moreno moves forward and goes for his little combinations, I think Deiveson Figueiredo is going to catch him a lot with his straight right hand, and get a lot of calf kicks. I think the calf kick is going to play a humongous role right here. He's going to be a lot taller, a lot lengthier than Deiveson Figueiredo, so those calf kicks in the first, second, and third round are going to pay dividends in the later rounds. I do think this fight will go the full 5 rounds, and those leg kicks are going to play a humongous factor. The striking game is honestly pretty even. I'll give the slight edge in power and in speed to Deiveson Figueiredo. But Brandon Moreno will have the height and reach advantage right there. So if he can keep the fight at range, he could win the fight that way. But let's talk about the wrestling and grappling, because we do know, we watched the last fight. Brandon Moreno had 4 takedowns and Deiveson had 2 takedowns in the fight. Mainly Brandon Moreno got those takedowns because Deiveson was gassed out. I mean, he went all out in the first, second, and third round, and he was a gas. So we got taken down fairly easily in the 4th and 5th round. But in this fight, I think Deiveson Figueiredo will be the one actually initiating a lot of those takedowns right here. I think both fighters will get a couple of takedowns here, but will that play the biggest factor? I think it could, because if Deiveson goes out there and gets the fight down, I think he can actually control it there. If Brandon Moreno gets on top of Deiveson Figueiredo, I don't think he can necessarily control Deiveson Figueiredo down there. If Deiveson is on top, I think he could control Brandon Moreno in the grappling and wrestling game. It's a really even fight right here. Between Deiveson Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno. I think the fight will go all the way. I think 1, possibly 2 rounds will go to Brandon Moreno, just because the man throws a lot and the man has a lot of heart, and he just keeps on going and going and going. Lots of cardio as well, so maybe he wins the 3rd round, maybe it was the 5th round, one of those type of things. But I think Deiveson Figueiredo will play the counter-punching game, attack that lead leg, straight right, 1-2 right hooks, get the fight to the clinch, couple of takedowns here and there. I think it's going to be a close fight, but I am going to go with the favorite right here in Deiveson I don't even know what that says. Deuce de Guerra, if I'm saying that correctly right there. But I'm going to go with Deiveson Figueiredo to win the fight by 48-47. Unanimous decision winner right there. I think Brandon Moreno will win 2 rounds, and those rounds would be the 4th and 5th round, when Deiveson is all really tired for throwing a lot of volume in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round. So Brandon Moreno wins the 4th and 5th round. Deiveson wins the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round. I think the fight will go all the way. So my prediction, Deiveson Figueiredo winning that fight by unanimous decision winner right there. Should be an absolute banger in the UFC flyweight division. Cannot wait for that fight. In the women's, sorry, I just said the women's. In the UFC flyweight division right there. Deiveson is an absolute beast. Brandon Moreno is an absolute beast. Cannot wait for the fight. Fight of the night for sure. Possibly a fight of the year. We really have no idea. I cannot wait for that co-main. But I am going Deiveson Figueiredo to win that fight by decision right there. Cannot wait for that fight, man. Israel Adesanya and Marvin Vettori 2. This is the rematch. The first time they fought, Israel did win the fight by split decision. Marvin, to this day, still thinks he won that fight. Do I think he won the fight? No, I do not. I don't think he did enough damage when he did get the takedowns, and Israel did a lot more damage in the striking game. I think he won the fight 29-28, a unanimous decision. In this fight right here, Marvin Marvin's only way would be to wrestle and would be to grapple. His striking is pretty basic with a little bit of straight punches here and there. Not really much of a kicker, to be honest. And Israel Adesanya, of course, a really good kicker. I mean, amazing kickboxing skills. 80-inch reach, 6-inch reach advantage, and a 4-inch height advantage. Of course, Israel wants to get the fight at range and kickbox with Marvin, eventually trying to land a big right hand or left hook like he caught Robert Whittaker with getting the belt a couple of years ago. That was absolutely insane. But in this fight right here, Marvin does not want the smoke in the striking game. He needs to get the fight to the mat ASAP, or he's going to lose the fight. It's pretty much that simple. If the fight does stay on the feet, I think Israel could get a knockout or a TKO win. If Marvin Vettori gets the fight down, I think he'll win the fight by decision. So either way, Marvin Vettori by decision or Israel Adesanya by KO, TKO in the second or third round right there. Either a striking clinic from Israel Adesanya with amazing takedown defense or a dominant grappling and wrestling and ground and pounding game plan from Marvin Vettori on a decision win right there. Really hoping we see this more of a striking game plan. Hoping the fight stays on the feet, because if Marvin Vettori can kind of keep the fight on the feet, I think it'd be an entertaining fight, to be honest. Because if Marvin goes out there and just tries to wrestle and grapple, try to do what he did with Kevin Holland, it's gonna be a boring main event, to be honest. So I'm hoping Israel has amazing takedown defense, but I can't help but think there's gonna be a couple of takedowns here and there from Marvin Vettori. Not really enough for him to win the fight, to be honest. But I think we'll see a couple of takedowns. I think Marvin will win maybe one round, possibly 2 rounds. I think overall Israel will win the fight by decision or ground upon TKO, or not ground upon, just by KO or TKO in the second or third round. Kickboxing much better, the height advantage, the reach advantage at range. Amazing kickboxing, of course. Only one loss to Jan Blachowicz, who wrestled and grappled him. Marvin Vettori is attempting to do the exact same thing, but Jan is freaking 20 pounds heavier than Marvin is going to be in the fight right here. So this is going to be a cool fight. I'm curious to see if Marvin can get the fight down and if he can keep the fight there. If he can keep the fight there, I was talking like Marvin there. But if he can keep the fight there, he will win the fight. But I just don't think he will. I think this fight will go all the way. So my prediction is Israel Adesanya keeping the fight on the feet, defending the takedowns, keeping the fight at range, landing a lot of body kicks, a lot of leg kicks, and a lot of high kicks as well. And I think he's gonna land a big left hook on Marvin Vettori, putting him out in the second or third round. I mean, it really doesn't matter how he's gonna get the knockout. All I'm saying is Israel Adesanya winning the fight by knockout in the second or third round right there. Gonna be an amazing fight in the middleweight division right there. Yeah, I think this fight is going to be a lot different than the last time around where it went all the way and it was a split decision. Not going to be that close, of course. I think Israel's striking a lot better. His takedown defense is going to be a lot better considering he's not fighting a guy that's freaking 20 pounds heavier than he is. So it should be a really good fight in the middleweight division right here. But I am going Israel Adesanya winning the fight on my second or third round knockout right there. Cannot wait for the main event right there. But yeah, guys, that is my full card prediction for UFC 263, Adesanya versus Vettori 2. 13 fights on the entire fight card. I got Israel Adesanya winning his fight, Deiveson Figueiredo winning his fight, Leon Edwards. I mean, what do you want me to... Of course, Leon Edwards winning his fight, Damian Maia, the underdog, winning his fight, Jamal Hill winning his fight, Drew Dober winning his fight, Eric Anders winning his fight, Julian Calderwood winning her fight, Moser Evloev winning his fight, Penny Kansas winning her fight, Steven Peterson winning his fight, Luigi Venturamini, the underdog, winning his fight, and Carlos Felipe winning his fight. My 2 underdogs are Luigi Venturamini and then Damian Maia. Those are my only 2 underdogs on the fight card right here. But that's my full card prediction. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, everything like that, and we'll see you in the next video. Let's go.